Next, we have Shane Cruzan, a prison warden from San Diego, California. Next to him, we have Renee Salmon, the president for the OC Capital Punishment. Next, sitting next to her, we have Tracy Smith, Sister Nicole Smith. Next to her, we have Teresa Reed, a psychologist. Mr. Cruzan, do you feel with the overpopulated prisons that we need capital punishment?
Well, yes, I do. The people in the prisons with the death sentence should go ahead and be executed. Most of them use up all their appeals, and they just keep putting it off somehow, and should go ahead and execute them to get out and won't have the prisons overpopulated.
Does anybody have anything they'd like to say about what Mr. Cruzan said?
Well, I agree. I mean, he's coming from the right point. And some people would like to get into prison to have all the luxuries. I mean, they have color TVs, and they get all kinds of meals and everything free, and free health insurance, and it's just like an easy ticket in life.
Ms. Smith, why do you believe capital punishment should not be used?
Well, because it's not right to kill people. To command them not to kill one another. That's just what we do, killing people.
Mr. Alonzo, what are your reasons for believing in capital punishment?
Well, I believe is if someone has committed a crime, such as murder or rape, they should face the consequences. For these crimes, I think the consequence should be capital punishment. There's no reason to give a person 250 years in prison or 2 to 3 life sentences when you know that there's no way possible for those terms to be served.
Ms. Salmon, in the last few years you have conducted a survey. Could you tell us a little bit about your findings?
Yes. Well, Marie, I did conduct a survey, and I asked 25 people how they felt about capital punishment. 24 of those people said that if a person has killed, then they should be killed in the same way that they have killed. And then the other person said that they should be killed because then other people may be more likely not to commit such a horrible crime if they know that they'll be killed themselves. And I think that survey showed that most people do feel that capital punishment is right. And I feel that capital punishment should be used if a person has killed. But I feel that it should have very strict regulations and laws, because some people don't deserve to die if they've killed or if they have committed a crime.
Ms. Reed, is there a pattern to these prisoners that led them to a life of crime?
Yes, there is, Marie. We have went to many prisons, and we've talked to all sorts of prisoners and looked at their backgrounds and their records and everything. And there is a pattern on it. They, if they've grown up in like abandoned homes or their parents drink a lot and stuff, that's going to lead their kids to drinking. And or they've been abused of some sort, they've got all this anger built up inside of them, and they feel like they've got to go out into the world and use this anger on society. And there's a lot of cases that deal with that, and I don't know if they should be killed for their wrong. They just grew up in such a bad home. They felt that it was right to do such things. Their parents never taught them any different. And so, therefore, we've got a lot of murderers out. We don't know what to do with them after we get them in the prisons, because the prisons are so full we can't fit them in. And so now they're letting them out, and who knows what's going to happen.
Well, this may be true, but the teenagers may come from a broken home where they are beaten or raped, but when they committed that crime, they acted as an adult, therefore they should be punished as an adult. And if capital punishment is what it takes to punish these teenagers, then, well, I think that is what should be done.
I feel differently. I feel that a teenager should be given another chance. I feel that they can go through psychiatric help, as Teresa Laster can, do. I think that they can have another chance.
That's good. these juveniles that commit murders and crimes of all sorts, they put them in juvenile homes and make them go to like psychiatrists. I mean, they have special psychiatrists for them and everything, so they can talk out these angers, or so psychiatrists can put a better perspective in their minds as to what their parents had put in their heads. And so anyway, like say a kid of 13 killed somebody, they would hold them in this juvenile hall till they were 18, and then they're just going to let them out when they're 18 with a clean record. I'm not so sure if that's the right thing to do, but yeah, we should give them another chance. I mean, especially those who have grown up in homes to where their parents don't teach them right from wrong.
Ms. Selwyn, how would you feel if it was your brother or sister up on charges for driving and hit a pedestrian? How would you feel if he was up on charges for manslaughter?
I feel that if they took the life of another person, then they should have their own life taken, whether it is someone close to me or not. Because this is the rules that America has set up for everybody. And I believe that that's what should be done.
Mr. Krazan, if he was up in prison walls and he was trying to quit drinking and attending Alcohol Anonymous meetings to straighten up his life, even though he knows he probably won't get out, then how would you feel?
He should still be executed to get him out of prisons, whether he's trying to rehabilitate himself or not.
We're out of time for now, but our telephone lines will be open and operators will be standing by for any questions.
I have something I wanted to say about Mr. Krazan's statement there. There are a lot of people that have done wrong, and I mean it was due to like alcohol or mental problems or whatever, and when they finally reach some help in these prisons, they want to straighten up their lives. They don't want to harm anybody and things like that, and you still wouldn't want to give them a chance at life?
No.
Okay. And I would like to say I have written a book, and this is Crime and Capital Punishment, the name of it. And it's a really good book, and I hope you all would like to read it or whatever. Thank you.
We're out of time for now, but our telephone lines will be open and operators will be standing by for any questions. Thank you. Until next week.
With the audience.
Lives and Problems of Teenagers in American Society. And I'm your host, Christy Scott. Tonight we're going to discuss the problems of drug and alcohol use of our teenagers. Tonight we have with us Dr. Rusty, a psychiatrist from St. Louis who wrote a book called The Teenage Trap. Sheriff Adam Miner, a drug enforcement agent. Curtis, an ex-drug user. Vic Sharp, a counselor from a school in Houston. And Charles Smith, a commissioner of teenage drugs and alcohol. Tonight we're going to discuss the problems of teenage alcohol and drug abuse. Doctor.
Well, I'm going to tell you why teens probably use drugs and alcohol. Peer pressure, parents, school, and problems. They feel neglected at home. Maybe at school they didn't make the basketball team. Or they got dumped by a girlfriend or boyfriend. Maybe they're at a party and the other kids are on drugs or drinking. And your kid feels pressure to participate. But the majority do it for the fun of it. Or at least that's what they think. A lot of teens don't know why they drink or use drugs. I have learned that the majority of teens that use drugs and alcohol use them because they feel left out or like they don't fit in. They need encouragement and someone to motivate them to participate in other activities than drugs and alcohol. A lot of the problem with teens also falls on the parents. Rather, the parents are users and the kids feel that it is okay to do, or maybe the parents don't have a good relationship with their children. This is a problem, and this problem needs to be solved. There are many ways to help. Thank you.
There are lots of people on the streets that have been arrested for selling drugs, murder, theft, and prostitution. More people are arrested because of drug and alcohol effects than anything on our records. I and others feel that the drug problem could be solved if the state would collect more taxes to use the money to ban the problem of drugs. Alcohol is legal, but I feel that teenagers caught with alcohol should be fined much more than the fine is now.
Well, being an ex-drug user myself, I don't think you're really right. Finding people ain't going to help them. They're going to have to help the teenagers in the schools, rehabs, and all that. You can't fine a person for what they've done wrong. They need help from other people. Just because you use drugs, I mean, you do use them and it is against the law, but they need the help from other people. They need support from family, friends, even at school, maybe from a preacher, whoever they trust. They just need to talk to somebody and get off of it. Otherwise, it's going to kill you.
I feel that the biggest problem with drugs and alcohol abuse at schools is we don't educate our students well enough about drug abuse. And we need to get to the younger students to stop this problem later down the years. And also need to educate the parents to help stop the drug and alcohol abuse at schools or at home so they can help stop it at schools. And that's about it. Solve most of the drug and alcohol problems. I feel that the drinking age should be raised to at least 25 years old. And those minors caught, like you said, should be fined and probably put in an institution to help them solve their problems. And just counseling would really help the kids a lot. And talking to other people should, help them too.
Okay, so Sheriff Adam Miner, you think we should have more taxes involved to help drugs and alcohol?
Yes, I do. I feel that if more taxes come into the deal, then there'll be a lot more money to help solve this problem. And that's what we need, is money right now.
Well, how's money going to help the kids that are on the drugs? It's going to, I ain't going to save their lives.
Yes.
Well, I figure that I'll get paid more for getting these druggies that way.
Dr. Rusty, you said that a lot of these problems start out in the home or peer pressure.
Yeah, well, these kids at home, their parents don't talk to them. They go home and they watch TV. Their parents don't ask them what they did at school today. They don't ask them how their grades are. And the kid feels like he's being neglected. So he has to go out and find something, do something, so he'll get his parents' attention. And this usually does it.
Curtis, from your experience, what involved you in drugs? How did you get involved in drugs?
I just got involved in it due to I wanted to escape reality. School just bored me. People just bored me. The whole deal, it was just kind of boring. I wanted to try something new. I wanted to fit in with the tough crowd, be like everybody else. Just try to be macho, I guess, is what I thought it was. Ended up almost killing myself, just kind of.
Any questions from the audience?
I guess that's a shit.
Okay, if there's no questions, then I guess our show, the lives and problems of teenagers in American society is over. Same time tomorrow. See you then.
Can you press the button again?